think you're fighting this storm alone? Look deeper. The same force that created the universe is living inside you right now. The Holy Spirit isn't just a force, it's your unstoppable power.
The Book of the Prophet Isaiah. Isaiah lived in Jerusalem in the latter half of Israel's kingdom period. He spoke on God's behalf to the leaders of Jerusalem and Judah. He spoke, first of all, a message of God's judgment. He warned Israel's corrupt leaders that their rebellion against their covenant with God would come at a cost. God was going to use the great empires of Assyria, and after them Babylon, to judge Jerusalem. But that announcement was combined with a message of hope. Isaiah believed deeply that God would one day fulfill all of his covenant promises. He would send a king from David's line to establish God's kingdom. He would lead Israel in obedience to all of the laws of the covenant. And all of this was so that God's blessing and salvation would flow outward to all of the nations. And it's this hope that compelled Isaiah to speak out against the corruption and idolatry of Israel in his day. The book has a pretty complex literary design, but there's one simple way to see how it all fits together. Chapters 1 through 39 contain 3 large sections that develop Isaiah's warning of judgment on Israel. And it all culminates in an event pointed to at the end of chapter 39, the fall of Jerusalem, and the exile of the people to Babylon. But in chapters 1 to 39, there's also a message of hope that after the exile, God's covenant promises would all be fulfilled. Chapters 40 to 66 pick up that promise of hope and develops it further. In this video, we're just going to focus on chapters 1 to 39. The first main section focuses on Isaiah's vision of judgment and hope for Jerusalem. And it begins as Isaiah accuses the city's leaders of covenant rebellion, idolatry, and injustice. And God says he's going to judge the city by sending the nations to conquer Israel. Isaiah says that this will be like a purifying fire that burns away all that's worthless in Israel. In order to create a new Jerusalem that's populated by a remnant that has repented and turned back to God. And Isaiah says that that's when God's kingdom will come, and all nations will come to the temple in Jerusalem. The Book of the Prophet Isaiah.
Now it's this basic storyline of the old Jerusalem purifying judgment into the new Jerusalem.
This is going to get repeated over and over throughout the book, getting filled in with increasing detail.
So at the center of this section is Isaiah's grand vision of God sitting on his throne in the temple. And he's surrounded by these heavenly creatures that are shouting that God is holy, holy, holy.
Holy, holy, holy.
And Isaiah suddenly realizes just how corrupt he and his people Israel are. God's holiness, in the form of this radiant light, comes to touch him, but not to destroy. Rather, it purifies him from his sin. And as Isaiah ponders the strange experience, God commissions him with a very difficult task. He is to keep announcing this coming judgment, but because Israel has reached a point of no return, his warnings are going to have a paradoxical effect of hardening the people. But Isaiah is to trust God's plan. Israel is going to be chopped down like a tree and left like a stump in a field. And that stump will itself be scorched and burned. But after all of that burning, God says that this smoldering stump is a holy seed that will survive into the future. It's a small sign of hope. But who or what is that holy seed? The rest of this section offers an answer. Isaiah confronts Ahaz, a descendant of David and a king of Jerusalem.
And he announces his downfall.
God says that it's the great empire of Assyria who will first chop Israel down and devastate the land. But there's hope. Because of God's promise to David, he's going to send after this destruction a new king named Immanuel. Which means God with us. And Immanuel's kingdom is going to set God's people free from violent, oppressive empires. And Isaiah describes this coming king as a small shoot of new growth that will emerge from the old stump of David's family. It's this king that's the holy seed from chapter 6. And the king is going to be empowered by God's Spirit to rule over a new Jerusalem and bring justice for the poor. And all nations will look to this messianic king for guidance. His kingdom will transform all creation, bringing peace. Now, you finish chapters 1 through 12 with a pretty good understanding of Isaiah's message of judgment and hope. But when will this all happen? Isaiah saw another empire arising after Assyria, and that's Babylon, who would also attack Jerusalem and actually succeed in destroying it. That will survive into the future. It's a small sign of hope. But who or what is that holy seed?
So first, we have a large collection of poems that explore God's judgment and hope for the nations. We learn, first of all, of the fall of Babylon and Israel's neighbors.
Babylon's kings claimed that they were higher than all other gods. And so God vows to bring Babylon down. And that leads into the next section with a series of poems that tell a tale of two cities. There's the lofty city that has exalted itself above God and become corrupt and unjust. And one day is going to be replaced by the New Jerusalem, where God reigns as king over a redeemed humanity.